doing my turn signal dance, waiting for my light. All right, so as many of you out there have gone and done, people on my channel have gone and done, I went and saw Weapons, and apparently I'm the dissenting voice in Weapons, at least on my channel, and I guess at large. So just for the idea of trying to give someone a voice who maybe went and saw Weapons with their buddies and went, I didn't really like it, but everybody seems to love it. Just like in my video way back in the day of it's okay to like things, I'm also here to say it's okay to not like things. And if you didn't like Weapons, cheers. I'm not saying Weapons is a bad film. It's not. I totally get why people like it. It's fun. It's a little different. Its storytelling is a little different, which I guess is a good thing. Didn't really work for me. And that's not to say I don't like nonlinear stories. I just, I want the nonlinear to serve a purpose. And the purpose it served here was, in my very rude opinion, was to hide how kind of okay the story is. There's not really a lot here in Weapons. This is going to be super spoilery, so if you haven't seen it, you can hit that pause button, go check it out, come back. But it's a witch movie. And okay, I'm into witches. Witches are great. It doesn't give you a lot as far as witch movies go, and I'm honestly okay with it. It's kind of like Superman not giving us an origin story. Here, we don't need to know that witches eat children to stay young. Like, if you've seen Hocus Pocus, you've got that much. So it doesn't go out of its way to explain witches are the problem, or once you finally do realize it's a witch, it doesn't really go into like, I need kids to stay alive. It's just kind of more like, well, I tried to eat your parents. Not a lot of meat left on that bone, so I'm gonna need some young meat. I'm a fan of veal. Is kind of the general idea here, and I'm okay with that as a storytelling device goes, I guess. I think it's more so that, like, because the movie is so determined to keep you on your toes of, who's the bad guy? Is it the teacher? It's probably not the teacher. Everyone kind of agrees from the beginning because that's the first storyline you get. It's not the teacher. I actually probably would have preferred spend a little more time wondering if it was the teacher than, just immediately assuming that it's not. Because they do some good groundwork there. They give you, she's had infractions in the past. She's made some mistakes. And not things that, like, make her a bad person, but make her not the best teacher. Like, she offered a kid a ride home once, which, when I was a kid would have been like, oh, that was a nice way to get home that day. But, nowadays it's like, danger, danger. Amber alert's going off. So, like, yeah, she probably shouldn't do that. She hugged a kid who was crying. Seems a little dumb to me that that's still a problem, but, it is. Teachers have a problem, or parents have a problem with it sometimes. So, like, she has these little things that are like, she's a good person, but not very good at her job. And I like that character development. That's really good. Give her that gray zone. Do something with it. They don't. They don't really do anything with that. She just kind of gets put upon, and, people write witch on her car. I guess Josh Brolin, I was going to say James Brolin. Josh Brolin writes witch on her car, then, like, immediately forgives her 5 minutes later. And I think that's kind of the problem with, like, the non-linear storyline, is that it makes it kind of fuzzy of, like, motivations, because there's so many different people with so many different timelines that by the time you get to the kid and you dial it way back to before the witch even shows up, it's like, okay, well, is this the story? Maybe we should have just started here. It might have been more interesting instead of this whole whodunit or who doing it. It didn't. I feel like the story didn't need that, or a better story wouldn't, to take another kind of rude shot at it. I don't know. I had the same problem with Barbarian. And another one that I famously did not like, and everyone's like, but why? And it's like, because I feel like, okay, so here's the thing. I feel like Zach Krieger does an amazing job. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. If I'm not, I apologize. Does an amazing job setting up a horror film. The first third of Barbarian is my favorite horror movie the year it came out. The last 2/3, nah. But the first third, phenomenal. Tension building, the performances, the location, all of it, man. You feel it with that woman. Like, it really puts you in that shoes of, like, I can't trust anybody. Why would you ever trust anyone? Everyone's so dangerous. And then the movie devolves into monster lady in the sewer thing underneath the house. forced breastfeeding. It gets weird. And I think the issue I have there, and to a much lesser extent, but still there, in Weapons, is I feel like he gets 75% of a script done, and it's like tight, super, super tight, and it's creepy, and it's weird, and its own thing. But you got to fill that other 25%, and the other 25% is fucking reckless abandon. Wouldn't that be cool? And it's like, I guess, but at the cost of your story. So, like, my example for Weapons is the teacher is obviously mortified that her 99% of her class just upped and disappeared at 2:17 at night. Why 2:17 at night? That's the time the witch did it. No other importance than that. Just happened when she was awake doing shit. That's dumb. But she's having this nightmare, and she sees the one kid in class who didn't go away, and he lifts his head up, and he's got the same makeup that his crazy witch aunt has, and it's spooky and it's weird. And then she looks up at the ceiling, and the witch is implanted in the ceiling, and she's reaching down and gobbledygookly. And okay, yeah, that's a good spooky moment. Why is the witch going after the teacher? She isn't. Why is the teacher seeing the witch? No idea. Is that ever brought up again? No. It's just there to spook you and waste 5 minutes of runtime. That's the shit I don't like. And that's the stuff that, to me, brings down what would be an excellent horror film. When the stuff doesn't make sense in the world that you're building, I'm taken out immediately. Because that witch really doesn't, I only saw this thing once, and I saw it the other day. I don't think she has any interaction, really, with the teacher. She might see her. They don't really discuss anything. She interacts with the principal. So, okay. Why is she haunting her dreams? Because it was cool. And that's where you lose me in horror movies. And I'm like wearing Evil Dead 2. Like, Evil Dead 2, it's such a tight film, and everything that's super weird feels like it's the Deadites, so it fits, and everything, like, comes together to make this big, immersive blob of gory nonsense. I love Phantasm. Nothing in Phantasm makes sense, but it all doesn't make sense with the same, like, flavor to it. Weapons, Barbarian, they have this problem that when something's going to get weird, and I'm all for weird, give me the weirdest shit you got, it breaks the movie just to be weird. And that's where you lose me. My other example from Weapons is the cop. What does the cop serve? What is the purpose of the cop? I guess it gives a little more story to the mom, or not mom, the teacher, a little, and then gives her a reason to get fucking jumped by the cop's wife. That goes nowhere. And even the storyline with the cop, it's a long-winded way to eventually have somebody for her to fight in the final scene that has some emotional stakes to it. It's a very, very, like, you can just see the strings. And I like horror movies where I don't see the strings. Like, we have all these moving parts, all these different characters, I guess, to kind of flesh out the world for spooky moments, horror movie moments. But they don't feel earned. And I don't know what I would have changed or what I would want different. But that's why it just doesn't fully work for me. Because then by the time you get to the end, where it just goes... Have you seen Matilda? It's like the end of Matilda, but like instead of, attacking no one, they attacked the witch. Oh boy, did they attack the witch. And that was in the trailer. And that's why I don't watch trailers. Because what the fuck? Why would you put that in the trailer? I mean, it's little blips, but still, why would you put that in the trailer? Fuckface. Not the trailer editor. I'm sure they're a very nice person. I meant more the studio at large. But by the time you get to that point, and it's funny, and it's supposed to be like cathartic of like, I've been terrorized for so long that now you have this almost Benny Hill level of just complete insanity, and then ripping this woman to literal pieces, it should feel like, oh, they did it. They won. And instead, people are just kind of laughing like at the slapstick comedy. Like, you'd assume it was the Three Stooges on stage. It's not that relief laughter. It's the this is goofy laughter, which is very, very different. And I don't think, in my opinion, Weapons or Barbarian got that cathartic, I'm feeling better because it's funny laughter. Like the end of, say, The Substance, where the blood cannon's going and everything's absolutely insane. People are laughing because they know it's over and they made it. And that there's something to that. That is a victory laugh. And as much as Weapons wishes it had a victory laugh, it doesn't. It has a goofy period at the end. Period, exclamation point. Punctuation is what I'm saying. Anyhow, that was it for me on weapons. I know John has a video up there that's much more positive on weapons than I am. As I said with Together, I'm not sure if I ever actually released my video for Together. End of the day, a horror movie's doing well in theaters. I'm happy. I'm happy whenever a horror movie does well because horror is still my favorite genre. You don't have to entertain me, just entertain people. And I'm in a good mood. And that seems what's going on here. Weapons doesn't have to be my favorite movie of the year. If it's yours, more power to you. Link, like, subscribe, all that stuff. It does help us out. Bye!